Well, first of all I want to say good evening and welcome you to Brannigan Harbour here today, especially those of you who are walking to Dublin in commemoration of the Mahon tenants who were forcibly evicted and forced to walk to the boats in Dublin to be transported to Liverpool and onward in coffin ships to North America. About 20 years ago, I was lucky enough to be in the city of Quebec. The tour guide brought us down onto the docks there, where the Irish famine victims were landed, those of whom that had survived the horrors of the voyage and the fever sheds of Grosse Ile. They were so exhausted that many of them did not climb the cliff, but settled at the foot of the cliff, close to where they were landed. The guide told us that some of their descendants, sixth and probably by now seventh generations, still live in the small houses of Irish Street that leads down to the port. We experienced the devastation of the famine here in County Longford, where 30,000 people disappeared during that time. Just about 100 metres past the Brannigan Bridge here behind me, you are entering the barony of Abbeyshrule, the smallest barony, 20,000 acres in County Longford, just 4 small parishes including Abbeyshrule. The loss of population in this area between 1841 and 1851 was 38.4%, over 1/3 of the population, and by 1871 the loss of population had reached a staggering 55%. The population had been 9,546 in 1941, 6,292 in 51, and 4,272 in 71. House classifications in this area at that time were 81.5% poor or bad. My family lived on the other side of the canal, in the next townland, just down the line over the bridge. At the canal turn, you will just see the roof of the house my grandfather built in 1886. The family survived the famine because they had enough land on which to grow oats. The oats was grown on wide ridges called lands. The lands were about 3 metres wide, the distance the sower could cast the seed. The furrows were dug by hand and the soil thrown across the land from each side to cover the seed. The crop would have been reaped with sickles and thrashed with flails. There were many corn mills in the area. The tracks of the lands can still be seen in a few of the fields. My great-great-grandfather was a tenant there before the coming of the canal. He saw the works in progress. He saw the embankment being built. As you walk down towards the turn, you will see how high the canal is up over the land. You will realise the amount of effort that was put into its construction. The work was done by hand. They dug away the fields with pick and shoveled it into the wheelbarrows to be pushed up ramps to build the base and banks. There is a story handed down about a family who lived near Ballinasloe, a father and 4 sons who worked on it. They walked from Ballinasloe on Sundays to be at work on Monday mornings. They each carried a sack of oaten bread on their backs, which was their food for the week. They camped in a makeshift tent on the banks where they worked, and they walked home on Saturday night to get the bread for the following week, which had been baked during the week by their womenfolk. My great-great-grandfather saw the road being diverted, which cut off part of his land. He saw the river being diverted to the tunnel under the canal, which cut off another piece of his farm. This work would all have been adding to the cost of construction. It was said that the cost of the building of the stretch from the turn, which you will see later, to the harbour here, was equal to gold sovereigns standing on the edges for that distance. I want to commend those of you who are walking the length of the canal in commemoration of the Mahon tenants who were evicted from their homes, as are unfortunate Irish tenants being evicted today. The walk will also remind us that millions of people worldwide are being forced not only to leave their homes but their countries as well, to an unknown and uncertain future. The root cause of these catastrophes remains the same: greed and lust for power.